Doomsday-believing woman found responsible for children's deaths. In Idaho, Lori Vallow Daybell was found guilty of murder in the deaths of 2 of her children as well as of plotting to kill her husband's former wife. She was motivated, according to the prosecution, by her ardent religious views. A jury in Idaho on Friday found Lori Vallow Daybell guilty of killing 2 of her kids and planning to kill her husband's ex-wife. This is a case that received significant media attention due to the accuser's alleged doomsday religious views. There is no defined time for sentence. Judge Steven Boyce of the Seventh Judicial District granted the defense team for Ms. Vallow Daybell's motion to remove the death sentence from consideration prior to the start of the trial. After several years of delays, the trial in Boise, Idaho, started on April 3, 2023. Initially, Ms. Vallow Daybell had been ordered to get mental care because she was deemed incompetent to stand trial. Prosecutors painted her in their opening statements as a careless mother who thought she was on a religious mission that was more significant than raising her children. She thought her kids were zombies that were possessed by demonic spirits, according to the prosecution. According to a local television station, the prosecution had called roughly 60 witnesses by Wednesday, weeks into the trial. The closing remarks were made on Thursday, May 11, 2023. According to Boise State Public Radio, Ms. Vallow Daybell declined to testify in her own defense, and her attorneys rested their case without naming a single witness. The judge was informed by her attorneys that they did not think the state had established its case. For the duration of the trial, Judge Boyce had granted the counsel for Ms. Vallow Daybell's request to restrict cameras from the courtroom. However, he permitted Friday's verdict to be streamed online. A grand jury had accused Ms. Vallow Daybell, 49, and her husband, Chad Daybell, 54, but they had entered a not guilty plea in relation to the murders of 2 of her children, Tylee Ryan, 16, and Joshua Vallow, also known as JJ, 7. Ms. Vallow Daybell was found guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder in the killing of Tammy Daybell, Mr. Daybell's ex-wife, in addition to being found guilty of first-degree murder in the deaths of the children and grand larceny. For that death, Mr. Daybell has been charged with first-degree murder. Grandfather of J.J. Woodcock, Larry Woodcock, expressed his heartache to reporters outside the courthouse after the decision was pronounced. 2 children were reported missing right away, so I got up and asked, "Where are the kids? Where are the youngsters? The children are where?" said Mr. Woodcock. He stated that he intended to be present for the sentence, so that he could directly question Ms. Lori Vallow Daybell. Why, Lori? Lori, why? Why? Here is some of the backstory of this epic trial, an essential foundation of which to contemplate. Lori Vallow's case is a tragic tale of 2 missing children, multiple suspicious deaths, and a trail of lies and deceit. Let's delve into the details and try to understand what happened. Lori Vallow was a mother of 2 children, Tylee Ryan, and Joshua J.J. Vallow. In September 2019, the children were reported missing by their grandparents, who were concerned about their whereabouts. Lori claimed that the children were staying with friends in Arizona, but investigators found no evidence to support her story. As the investigation continued, more disturbing details emerged. Lori had a history of erratic behavior and had become involved in a doomsday cult with her new husband, Chad Daybell. They believed they were chosen by God to lead the 144,000 chosen ones into the new millennium. This belief system seemed to be the driving force behind their actions. Around November 2019, the police executed a search warrant on Chad's property, where the couple had been living. They found human remains, later identified as Tylee and JJ, buried on the property. Lori and Chad were arrested and charged with conspiracy to commit murder, among other charges. The case has continued to unfold with more twists and turns. It was discovered that Lori's previous husband, Charles Vallow, had been shot and killed by her brother, Alex Cox, in July 2019. Alex claimed self-defense, but the circumstances surrounding the shooting were suspicious. In September 2019, Lori moved with her children from Arizona to Idaho and joined a new religious group. In November 2019, Tylee and JJ were last seen alive, and in June 2020, they were reported missing by concerned family members. In December 2019, Alex Cox died under mysterious circumstances. He had claimed to have been at the property where the children were buried on the day they went missing, but the police could not confirm his alibi. Since then, the case had been making headlines across the world. In 2020, authorities began investigating the whereabouts of the missing children and found that Lori had been lying about their whereabouts. Lori and her new husband, Chad Daybell, were named persons of interest in the case. In June 2020, Chad's former wife, Tammy Daybell, was found dead in her home in Idaho. Her death was initially ruled as natural causes, but authorities later exhumed her body and ruled her death as suspicious. In December 2020, Lori was arrested and charged with 2 felony counts of desertion and non-support of dependent children. Moreover, as charges of resisting and obstructing an officer, solicitation of a crime, and contempt of court. Chad was also charged with conspiracy to commit destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence. In March 2021, the remains of Tylee and JJ were found on Chad's property in Idaho. The autopsies revealed that the children had been murdered. Chad was then charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and other related charges. In May 2021, Lori was declared unfit to stand trial due to her mental state, and was sent to a mental health facility for treatment. Thank goodness she was finally deemed fit to stand trial, and get her just desert.